that. So I'll just make sure. Whereas, yes, we are live, so that's good. So that's good. Welcome, 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 Jenny.
I'm so honored to be your first interviewee.
And your live channel is live with Jenx Values. Have I got it right?
That is me. You
Oh,
did.
I did. Oh well, that's really good
Not
for
many
me.
people do.
And I like your lives actually. You're such a natural live speaker in many
Thank you.
respects. You're just a natural at it, which is what I
Yep.
find really good. So, welcome to those in YouTube land. This is Jenny Sharratt from Live with Gen Values, X Values rather. I knew I'd stuff it
Good
up.
enough. Good enough.
And Jenny is, you're in Ontario, Canada, is that right?
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ontario, Canada.
And I'm in, on the south coast of New South Wales in Aussie land. So we have a time difference. So that's really interesting.
Yeah. Quite we have a day difference, Desley.
Yes, we do. And that sort of thing. And this interview is for, well, anybody in YouTube land, really, but particularly for newbie creators, hey? And so maybe we'll start with some questions and we can just bounce along whatever we like and have a chit chat however we feel like it. Is
That's
that
our
okay with
style.
you?
That's
Okay.
exactly how I roll.
Okay. Okay. What started you on your YouTube journey and why did you create your YouTube channel?
It's always a long and complicated story, isn't it? With me, anyway. But
Take your time.
obviously, I've known about YouTube for many years, and I've very rarely referenced it. And before maybe 5 years ago, so like prior to 2020, the only times I would go on YouTube is if I was doing like a search, an internet search, and it pointed me to a video. And other than that, I wouldn't really do it because I didn't want to watch a whole video to get like a quick answer. So I very rarely used YouTube prior to that. But in 2019, I got promoted at work. So I'd be looking after a team of people. And I'd worked in that team as part of that team for a long time. So I looked on there for like leadership, how to improve my leadership skills and how to lead a team and to navigate that dynamic that would be complicated. And let's just skim over the pandemic. But obviously, the pandemic was a very challenging time. And in my profession as like a medical laboratory technologist, working in a microbiology department, which is the department that deals with infectious disease, it was a really challenging time. And around that time, the environment in the workplace became quite unpleasant. There was a lot of incivility in the department, a lot of things happening that were in my view, and I guess I was a bit fixed minded then, it was inexcusable. We're in a caring profession, we're in a professional environment, and we should be performing at a high level. And I heavily relied on YouTube to guide me through that environment and to learn specifically like communication skills and how to shut down incivility in the workplace. So that is when I really leaned into YouTube, and it helped me so much. I can't tell you how much it worked. Before I actually had time to invest in therapy, to invest time in therapy, YouTube was my therapy. And I found a lot of wonderful, wonderful creators, both professionals like psychologists and psychiatrists who've got great websites and great YouTube pages, but also communication people who really I really resonated with and I connected with, and it eased my soul. Like nothing was going to stop the issue, but I felt like I had somewhere to go. So being on that end of YouTube made me realize how impactful it is on people's lives. It can, I don't want to be over dramatic, but there are people who claim that, some creators have saved their life, they've really helped them. And part of me wanted to give back. I mean, I'm an imperfect person. It wasn't all about, oh, I just want to give back, but it was like I feel like I've got something that I can give, and now I want to put it out there because the impact it has is so huge on other people. And that is why I finally did bite the bullet and create a YouTube channel, which is Life with Jenx Values.
And how long ago did you create the channel, Jenny?
The first video went on, I think, in June 2025.
Oh, okay.
And I got really serious about it probably like January 2025, and I really started thinking about what would my channel be. And going from there, trying to build it by myself, and with what I'd heard from the mentor that I'm going to mention later, the things that kind of pulled together, I got my ideas and started to think about why I wanted that channel, what I was going to talk about on that channel. And then in June I made my first video.
Okay, and of all the YouTube educators out there in YouTube land, and you call it the streets of YouTube, I call it YouTube land. Which YouTube educator resonated with you the most, and why?
So I'm going to have to say it would be Rob the Maritimer. So Rob Moore, his YouTube channel is Rob the Maritimer. He has had a channel for many years, and he came at it from a professional stance. So he's an engineer by trade. And I really respect people who invest so much time and energy in education and learning. And he did that for, I think, a decade or so. And then he became an entrepreneur, and he started a channel to kind of share what he was doing in his day-to-day. He actually did contract work with Fiverr, the website that will do video editing and remote work for you. And when he noticed a change with AI kind of taking over, putting subtitles on videos and more basic functions like that, he knew that that would affect his business, and he leaned more into YouTube. And just based on what he's done on there, like he's somewhat professional. He brings in his professional expertise, but he also is very laid back, and he's just a very kind man, very generous with his time and generous with his knowledge. And that's what I resonated with. Not really, I'm not an engineer. He's a man. Like, we've got some obvious differences. And he's very organized and very emotionally strong. I don't ever see him losing composure. We're very different in that way. But I have a lot of respect for him. So you can imagine my surprise when he turned up on my live stream yesterday.
Yes, it was
And
excellent.
I tried to play it cool, but I have a lot of respect for that man.
It was very
And that is
exciting.
why, yeah, that's why he's my mentor, because the respect is there, and the connection of, I feel like we've followed a similar journey, just like different areas.
Yes, and I got an email from Rob today. He's starting a 10, I think
Yes.
10,
The creator, like a development.
yes. So, but there was no price on it, so you kind of have to
It's a
apply.
lot.
Is it?
It's a lot, but
Is it?
it's let's see. Because you've built this amazing app, Desley, the Creator Sidekick app, I personally, and this is why I haven't taken the course too, because you've already invested a lot of time in learning the basics of YouTube. And in fact, speaking as someone who's been watching mentors, many of them, like Rod the Maritime, obviously, but also Kevin Colby, Alexis Aranoia, DD Parody, I've watched a lot of them. I've learned a lot, and I don't think it's worth taking those courses when you've invested that much time. And you, obviously, from going through the Sidekick app, you've developed a lot of skills, you have a lot of knowledge. So going through those courses, I think, is for people who haven't invested that time and they want to get to the end point quicker. They don't want to invest hours and hours searching for information that may or may not be correct.
Did you take his 30-day challenge?
He did when you say 30-day challenge, it was a little different to other 30-day challenges because he treated it by week. And I did use that challenge to kind of launch me on releasing my second YouTube channel, which is something which is very important to me. And I want to be very careful with. So I hadn't launched it yet, but it needed to be launched. There's like a time limit on how much time I've got to get that running the way I want it to and build those systems.
Mm.
So I did use it to make the channel live, make a video, do the avatar, my description, and those kinds of things, which can take some time.
Mm. Yeah.
And it was free. Free is our favorite price, right, Desley?
Absolutely.
It's a badge of honor.
Well, for me, being a Aussie age pensioner and living on the age pension, now I live what I consider a relatively comfortable life, but
Yes.
it's on the pension. I don't have a lot of money to stretch in so in a lot of different areas,
Mhm.
Super wasn't around when I was a young adult. Superannuation, or I don't know what you call it in Canada, but we call it superannuation here, retirement fund, and
Mhm.
that wasn't around. It was my late 30s, early 40s before super really hit Australia. In a way where the federal government legislated that employers had to allocate a certain percentage of the employee's wage
Mhm.
to the employee's designated super fund. So it wasn't around. So a lot of young adults have a head start. I'm a baby boomer, um, as such, but not a rich baby
And
boomer.
proud. And proud.
you know, and
Yeah.
but I live okay. But you know, I'd love to do a lot of these courses, but then again, I might be like some people say, do the course and do nothing with it.
Yeah.
And
I feel like if you're stuck, Desley, if you ever find yourself like, I feel like I've done everything I know how to do, I don't know which way to turn next, I think it would be a good idea. And Rob the Maritime actually offers a one session or a two session package
oh
where you
really,
you get an hour with him.
mm,
So I think it's around $200 for an hour, and I think it's 365 Canadian dollars, I think, or US for
right,
2 hours. So if you were stuck, but you've got a lot of the knowledge and you know where you want your channel to go, I think that would be a good option.
mm. That's
But
a
I personally wouldn't take a paid course, unless I was really lacking direction or
mm,
wanted to completely pivot.
yeah. And Alexa has a great course as well, doesn't she?
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
what's it called?
The Creator Boost,
Rebels?
the Creator Boost Challenge, I think she calls it.
Oh, the
It's a
30-day
30-day
challenge.
course.
That's the 30-day challenge, but doesn't she also have a paid group?
Oh, Alexa has a number of paid courses that you can access. If you join Alexa's, I think it's the Creator Boost Tribe on
Yep.
School, which is a free community, you can click on the classroom and you can see all of the different courses that Alexa offers and how much they are currently.
Mm,
And she has a paid school community called YouTube Rebels, and it's more aimed at people who are trying to build a business
mm,
or see YouTube as a professional avenue to go down.
yeah. Um, and that's good for people. But I looked at it and thinking, well, I want to start redo something with the app, etc. Start the channel because I had a channel called Pension Power, which life got in the way, and
Mm,
so it's kind of been let go. But the thing was, when it was the currency conversion and the monthly fee, I thought I just don't have the money.
yeah, yeah.
Much as I'd like to do it, but I just don't have the money. But she's very generous. I contacted her and said hello and everything. And she said to me, talk about your journey of developing the app. Now, I haven't done that very well on the channel, I might add, because a lot of it was behind the scenes. I was
Yes.
using Claude
Mhm.
AI, and it wasn't much to show for it, you know what I mean? And that sort of thing. So, but and thank you for being the first interviewee.
You're
Because
very
I want to
welcome.
branch out into interviews of different YouTube
Yes.
creators
Yeah.
that I think will hopefully help your channel as well as
Mhm.
my channel, but more importantly, help people in YouTube land who actually listen into the lives and
Yeah.
everything. And that's the most important
Yeah.
part, isn't it? So
Yeah.
you said that you've started a new channel. With the
Mhm.
work-life balance, I know this is not a question on our list, but with the work-life balance, how do you see that playing out, trying to maintain 2 channels?
Yeah. I mean, as you know, and we've talked at the start of this video, I'm very open and honest on my life with Jenx Values around mental health struggles. And
Mm,
anybody who watches any of my videos or any of my lives will hear probably pretty quickly that I'm not working right now, and
mm,
that I've been on a mental health leave for 2 years, a little over 2 years. So I haven't worked and I haven't had an organized work day for many, many years. And
mm,
I haven't really been able to sustain any kind of routine, any kind of all day routine for a long time too, because of the psychological things that I'm actually working through continually.
mm,
So I don't have a balance. I'm not very good with balance.
mm,
And that's probably why I struggled working in healthcare, because you do have to have a very good balance of work and non-work. And that the little that I did have was taken away during the pandemic, where I was working like 17, 18-hour days and constantly on call.
mm,
So that really took away any kind of balance I had and left me in not a very good place.
mm,
When I did build my channel, obviously, as you know, there's a lot of different steps to take, and you have to take the steps in the right order. And that's the reason I don't have many videos on my channel, because I find it still very hard to structure my day and structure my time and my brain enough to get that video out. So that's why I started doing live streams on my Jenx Values channel, which is really nice because, as you know, you kind of come up with an idea or two and then you hit live and you are live, and that is your video. It turns into a video afterwards and you're contributing to your channel. So it's been very recently that I've started making myself a planner again for the day and taking blocks, kind of blocking out time for different things. So I've started doing that. And
mm.
I'm struggling. I have ADHD. I've known it for many, many years, and I've been medicated in the past. I can't do the medication anymore. So I'm trying to build up my non-medication strategies again to kind of get that better balance. I know I'll get there. I have to be patient with myself. I have to be kind to myself and recognize that it's going to be a long journey.
Yeah.
But I know that I want to do this,
Mm,
and I've known more and more as the journey's gone on that this is absolutely what I want to do. I can't imagine not doing it. When the announcement came out about the increased watch hours to get monetization, it really didn't affect me at all as far as am I going to continue. I knew I was going to continue. It just really encouraged me to put more structure around the channel so that I can develop it.
mm,
So I will build in the processes for YouTube's into my day and really spend time thinking about what's a priority for me, regards to my home life and my work life and my YouTube life. Life is always like that you always have to rebalance your priorities.
mm.
But doing this channel, this Life with Gen X Values, has really helped me develop as a person, to regain confidence in myself. So that's a big thing for me. If I don't have confidence in myself and I'm not doing what I want to do, then I can't give to anyone else.
Yeah, I came across a strategy yesterday. You talk about blocking out time.
Yes.
I call it power days. You're still
Okay.
you're still blocking out time, you
Yep.
know, and so, and in that time, because you're focused on whatever it is for that particular block of time, you probably get more done than if
Yeah.
you did it here, there, and everywhere like that. But yeah,
Yeah.
I still have an Excel file, which I must admit I'm pretty slack. I haven't used it much, where my power day
Yeah.
file, for the week.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
in that is also rest and relaxation,
Yeah.
which I'm not very good at it at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I love Lego, for example,
Yeah.
and I love building Lego settings. And I've hardly done it since I've been building apps. So for the last 4 months, I keep buying Lego settings that take my eye, but I haven't actually built them.
Yeah. So you're building apps and not bricks.
That's right.
Yeah.
There's a similar process to it, really, except with the Lego settings, I have to have the instructions to build it.
Yes.
I'm not that good at freeform, you know. Whereas I
Yeah.
suppose the process with Claude is you're giving him the instructions or he's asking questions, and it becomes a process in a sense.
Yeah.
And
I guess the analogy is there because when you're building a really complex structure on Lego, you can't just take away a couple of blocks
no,
and then start again. You have to go all the way back to the beginning sometimes. And sometimes pieces don't come apart. You have to kind of abandon the whole thing. So I'd say it's similar to building an app, because if you don't put the foundation work in, you could like corrupt the whole app. It's not going to work.
yes. And if you had to start a YouTube channel from scratch, what's one or two things you would do differently, do you think?
I'm going to say that I would spend a little less time um, watching videos and start making the videos sooner. I think a lot of people believe that.
Hmm.
But knowing myself, I did need a lot of time to kind of build that foundation
Hmm.
and to build a vision that I could have my own channel. When we have our own channel, it has to be something that resonates with us. It has to be something we're not going to get bored of. So I think the more thought you put in before you start making videos, the better, like looking into yourself and visualizing your own journey. But for me, I was watching Rob for around a year before I even started making steps towards my own channel. So I would have done that a little bit sooner, but I don't regret my journey at all. And the other thing I'm going to recommend is creating more than you consume. So when I released my earlier videos, an established creator actually emailed me, which is really nice, and said that's one of his biggest things: 75% creating and 25% consuming. So if I was going to start again, that's a piece of advice that I would follow.
And it's really hard sometimes because I find that you want to watch this live and you want to watch that live and you want to watch this
Hmm.
video and you want to watch that video, and all of a sudden hours have gone.
Yes.
And, you know, um, and I didn't think that I would settle into lives, and I've settled in relatively quickly, I think. You can tell me, you're the expert on lives, I'm not.
Yeah.
And that sort of thing, because I'm a bit of a slow thinker or slow talker in a sense.
Hmm.
And I have to think about things, and I take
Yes,
ums
me
and
too.
ahs and pauses and
Yeah.
all this in when I'm doing. But to do this feels much more comfortable than I expected it would be.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the same thing. And I think a lot of that is because live streams are imperfect by nature. And that's what people are almost expecting when they join live.
Mm.
There's no hook, there's no intro, there's no micro hooks or call to action. It's just very informal. And I think that's why people are attracted to lives.
Mm.
And there's the interaction. as well. So if you do have people there, it's a wonderful experience to know that somebody's watching, and even if they don't comment, knowing that they're there feels much you can kind of access the real you better than like talking to a camera with no interaction at all.
I you're right. Like, I was so surprised with the live last night that 3 of you were on the
Yeah.
YouTube channel commenting and talking and everything and I was so excited, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, it is. It's so exciting. When you see a friendly face, it is so nice, especially when you've built a connection up and you've got that kind of you understand that person. You feel a lot more at ease, and then you're good. It's so exciting.
Yeah. And the other thing is that with lives, I've lost my train of thought now. Trust me. Junior Alzheimer's is what I call it.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
remember I was on a survey, accreditation survey, and I was talking to a group of clinicians, and I lost my train of thought, and I said junior Alzheimer's. Well, you should have seen the stone faces around the room.
I bet. We should preface that with you were working in the mental health field, so
Yeah,
I'm sure that went down like a lead balloon.
it went down like a complete lead balloon, and I said, "Joke, people," but they still didn't smile.
Yeah.
And I thought I better not say that to clinicians.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but I have lost my train of thought. But with the lives, it's as you say, the interaction. Oh, I know. I was going to say on Rob the Maritime's live early this morning, or
Mhm.
I'm not sure what day is it. Yesterday or still today in your country?
It was this afternoon.
This
It
afternoon.
was for
Thank you.
my time. It was like 5 hours ago, let's say.
Yeah. He had a thing about um, not doing lives every day of the week
Yeah.
because, well, apart from the burnout aspect, it's hard to focus on getting one topic together
Hmm.
solidly for the live or
Hmm.
making a good live out of it, which I found was interesting. But he also talked about not just friends going on the lives, but my thing is, and I think that's fine to a certain degree because you want a wider audience instead of talking to
Yes.
the same people,
Yeah.
but we've got to start somewhere.
Hmm.
And if we start with friends, at least we're starting, if you know what I mean. Um, but we do have to start somewhere. And I'm looking at the chat at the moment, and there's no chat.
I love that. I actually get kind of excited when there's no chat.
So I'll be honest. There's no chat.
That's
And
good because it's just the two of us, right? And when you do these interviews with people you know, but they're not. You know what I like about Rob is that he will admit to himself there are nuances to everything that he says, and he will openly admit that. So Rob is a very strong, and this is a piece of advice I was going to give at the end too. He's a very strong advocate to not tell your family and friends that you're doing this and ask them to watch because they are not your natural audience.
mm,
But when it comes to what you are doing, Desley, specifically, we are your target audience and we would watch you anyway. And I already subscribed to your channel, and I don't subscribe to channels right away
mm,
because I don't want to subscribe to things I'm not going to watch. So I'm very careful about when I am going to subscribe to something, if it kind of fits with things that I'm going to be watching. So there was a couple of comments on that live from people discouraging people from watching their YouTube friends playlist to give them hours.
mm.
Um, and that is true also to an extent. I have offered to watch my creative friends channels because I am subscribed to them and I enjoy their content. But would I typically watch 20, 30, 40 hours over a month? No, I wouldn't.
Mm.
But given there's a time frame for them to get their watch hours, and I would be watching that content anyway and watching it faster. So I'm just expediting a process. I'm not watching something I wouldn't usually watch.
Mm.
But you can see how that could be construed as, not helping the creator because you're not interacting. There's nuances to everything, Desley. So,
Yeah.
and the good thing about Rob is he would be happy for you to kind of take what he's saying, apply your own situation, and come up with your own conclusion.
Oh, I think that's right too. And I think a lot of genuine YouTube educators would have that type of
Yes.
angle. This is
Yep.
the information that works for us. This is what we
That's right.
suggest. However,
Yeah.
you need to fit in what is right for you. Would that be a fair take?
Yes. Yeah. And especially it's hard for them to say that this is the way to do it when there are channels out there that are just absolutely horrendous.
Mhm.
And people watch them. So it's hard for them to say you have to do XYZ when there are people out there just doing whatever they feel like, doesn't bring any value, it's not factual, yet people watch.
Yeah.
So
Out of curiosity, because you do live, do you advertise the lives or when you're going to go
I don't
live?
advertise them. I don't advertise them very often. Sometimes I will. If I remember, I'll do a community post.
Right.
But for Jenx Values, Life with Jenx Values, it's not a channel that I'm looking to grow hugely. I've already got an absolutely amazing community. I've made so many important connections with wonderful people. If that was everything I got from this channel, I'd be more than happy. So I'm not looking to like optimize the performance and the attendance of my lives. As I kind of build my systems better and schedule my days better around creation, I think that's something I might do, but it's not a priority for me.
Right.
And because I go live the same time every week, same time, same day, I don't feel that I have to constantly post that I'm going live.
Oh, that's a good idea. So pick a day and a time that fits in with you and with your audience and do that. So are most of your audience from the USA and Canada, or are they all over the world, do you think?
Well, the US seems to dominate YouTube in Canada. A lot of the creators we see are from the US. And I think that the more you click on US creators, the more US creators it's going to serve you. So I would say probably 60% of my viewers and subscribers from the US. And then I have a mix of Australia, UK, and then maybe 5% would like India and the Philippines kind of thing. But most of it is America, Australia, and the UK.
And not Canada.
No. I
It's
think I've got
interesting.
one or two. And I think because Canada is considered North America, it doesn't break it up. We are considered, it kind of lumps us in together as North America a lot of the time.
Well, Trump certainly not getting right into politics because I don't understand American politics, but he wanted
I
to
didn't
take
want to
over
say anything about
Canada.
that.
He wanted to take over Canada as
It
part
still
of
does,
America,
yeah.
as the 52nd state or 53rd state or however many
Yeah.
states there are.
Yeah.
But then again, he wanted to be the king of the king of Great Britain as well. So
Yeah, I honestly try not to even watch it. It really triggers me.
I'm a great, but I don't watch a lot of news. I will probably read news online a bit more before I'll actually sit down and watch the nighttime news or anything like that. So, but getting back to the side angle,
That's okay.
clip. So, how do you fit creating videos for your channel around your lifestyle of choice? Because you've got a family as well, haven't you?
I do. I have a husband and 2 kids who are at home, and they're obviously a huge priority for me, and I have to keep remembering that that is something that it's important to me that I invest time in that. Um, and as we talked about earlier, that I've really struggled with that over the last couple of years. I've been through a really hard season. So I really haven't been doing a very good job until recently. and it's very recently, so I hesitate to say I've got it down, but I've definitely made progress in that area.
Oh, that's good. And this is the last question, and then
Hmm.
you might have other ideas or suggestions.
Then I have to be mom again.
Yes, it's good to be there for your kids, though.
I'm going to put one more thing in Desley for you, because I think this is really important and it's just popped up in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And that is YouTube, the importance of YouTube to me. My family is fully aware of that and actually very supportive of that. So my husband will, chip in if I want to do a live stream, or if I've got something organized. He is supportive of it. And I think that is really huge.
Mm-hmm.
Because if your two priorities are competing, and that, if it's work and YouTube and they don't fit together, I don't think either will be successful. You have to kind of move your life around that. So right now, my whole family knows I'm doing this. Nobody will bother me. If there's an issue, they'll figure it out. And I think that's really important, to be able to do YouTube around your lifestyle.
Yeah, actually, it's a very good point. And I remember watching Alexa's video on Was It Worth It? Or where she
Yep.
talked about how she was so focused on YouTube that the family and her husband and the family became not second class citizens, but second place to the YouTube. And it really distressed her. You could see how distressed she was when she was talking about it, on how it had impacted her family and impacted her marriage. And fortunately, she was able to bring it together. But it was a very honest video in many respects, where if the focus is so intense, then something has to give way somewhere, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's a cautionary tale for sure. I mean, that would never happen to me because I don't have that much focus. I don't have that much focus at all. It's actually kind of funny. I laugh at myself all day long because I do time block, and I'll continue to time block forever. I think it's an amazing strategy, but it simply doesn't, my brain is untime blockable. I can, okay, we're going to do this, and it just refuses to do it. So you have to work with it. So I simply could not have done that. And my husband would not have accepted it either. He would have said a lot earlier, it's that or me, because what you're doing is not healthy. And his personality, he wouldn't stand there and tolerate it.
How long have you been married?
It'll be 25 years next year.
Oh, so you're coming up for what is it, the silver anniversary?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think anybody who's been married more than 10 years now just win an award. We should just call it at 10. Yeah.
My last question, unless you've got questions for me or you've got other things to say, is do you have any other ideas, suggestions, tips or strategies you feel it's important for newbie creators to know about it?
It's a tough one because everyone's journey is extremely individual. And I said the person I watched was Rob the Maritime, because he resonated. And I think that is very, very important for you to have a good experience with YouTube. You need to find someone you connect with so that you can kind of move forward that way, get a clearer vision. If I was going to, I did write down a couple of tips, and I've mentioned one already, which is create more than you consume. That is really huge. And I still don't have that one down, but that is a good piece of advice. And don't ask family and friends to subscribe or watch your videos. That is a huge piece of advice. There's a lot of videos from vidIQ and Think Media that explain that principle very well. Because when you have a new channel and you're getting your early views and your early subscribers, YouTube looks at the activity of those people on YouTube. So if you have a friend or a family member with no interest in the things that you're talking about, YouTube will look for other people like those people,
Mm.
and it will show you content to those people. And it's very difficult for us to train YouTube to find the right people. That sometimes never happens for people if you're not clear on your niche, which is okay. But if you are kind of making videos about lots of different things, YouTube has a really hard time finding people who are going to be interested. And you have to make more and more videos to kind of help the algorithm find your people. So that's a huge piece of advice that I think would help a newer creator. It's not that it's too late, but it's very difficult for YouTube to find your audience. So I would go to like Think Media and vidIQ to kind of get those videos to explain, because it is a complicated process to think about how it finds your audience.
Mm.
um yeah, those would be my tips, and I think we've talked a lot about different things that would help newer creators.
Yeah.
And the last thing would be um to use your Creator Sidekick app. I don't like saying it because it just sounds like you've dragged me and just say, do this. But when you demonstrated your app, it blew me away how closely it followed all of the YouTube advice I'd found through the last 2 years across multiple platforms. It really pulled it in one place. And what it does is it's very concise. So you make a movement towards making a good video, because you can fill in the different fields and then use that to make your video, instead of kind of just knowing what you know and trying to write a script somehow. And using AI is the worst thing to do when you're a new creator, to kind of put your ideas into AI and say, make me a transcript,
Mm.
because that won't be your natural language and your natural behaviors, and that will come across in the video.
Oh,
So
yes.
your app is wonderful for actually getting people from knowing little bits about YouTube and the way it works to actually putting a video out.
Thank you. Uh,
Mhm.
I'm really stoked with that feedback. It's really kind of you, Jen. And the whole idea was to put it all in one place because I found it
Yes,
overwhelming. Um,
it is.
Having files and folders and
Yeah.
this and everything like that. And there was so much really good info. There is so much really good
Yes,
information out there,
it is good. Yeah.
you know. Um, and I have used AI to help develop Claude co-work actually, which is a little bit different to
Mhm.
Claude Chat and Claude Code. Um, but I had to put in a whole heap of rules. No, you don't say
Yes.
that. No, you don't do that.
Yeah.
Uh, don't take out what I put my. Leave my intro alone. Leave my outro
Yeah.
alone. Um, but it's only a guide because then you still have to
Yes.
go through, regardless of
Yeah.
what AI you're using. You still have to go, even if they can get fairly close to your voice, you still have to
Yeah.
go through and make it your own. You can't just
Yeah.
simply rely on whatever AI gives you. Yeah. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
It does, and you've been through that experience, which is why you can use Claude, because you know what you don't want from it, and you know how bad it can be when it gives you what looks like an amazing script, and then you start reading it and you're like, this is not me.
Mm.
So you've actually spent time in programming Claude to speak like you, and even then you're almost rewording it at the end to kind of make it truly you. And I think a lot of people just get tempted because you put your idea into Claude or Gemini or Chat, and it comes out with this, when you read it in your head, what sounds like an amazing script, it's just what you wanted to say. But when you actually sit in front of the camera and read it out, you realize that that's not how humans interact.
Yes, and
Mhm.
that's a hard bit. Or it's not how you. It partly resonates with you, but not really totally resonating with you. So it can make it a bit stiff, or it can, but then sitting in front of a camera can be stiff in itself.
Yes, absolutely. So
You
put the
know,
two things together
yeah.
and yeah.
And but one of the advices that I was given by a friend of mine who's a web developer is never simply accept what AI says straight up,
Oh yeah.
because
Mm-hmm.
they want to, they're programmed to try and please you and tell you what you want to hear rather
Yeah.
than what you don't want to hear. So Claude calls it pushing back. I call it saying, "No, I
Mm-hmm.
don't want this. I didn't want that. No, that's not right. I don't like that wording.
Yeah.
Don't use this."
Yeah.
And it's about also knowing what you, and it can be hard too, to know what you don't want more than what you
Yes.
want, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
It does make sense. It does make sense when you're fellow creators, right? We're in a very similar era of our channels because we still, kind of know what we want, but we're still building the systems in there to kind of have a consistent channel where you know what you're making and there's no friction to making a video because you're like, okay, I know exactly what I want to talk about. And I'm getting there. I'm getting pretty close now. And honestly, this is true. Like the Sidekick app has helped me. My brain does work differently, so I found what helped me was using the app and then printing out like exporting the information I'd got, so I'd got it in my hands and I could kind of read over it. But it really has helped my brain, which gets confused. It's like breaking it into individual sections, so it really has helped a lot.
Oh, that's
But
fantastic.
there are so many nuances to YouTube, so many, and that's why it's hard to give concrete advice because there's no magic formula. There's lots of great advice, but no magic formula.
Well, it was like with on the live last night
Yes.
about Claude, with Claude, talking to Claude, chatting to Claude AI,
Yeah.
and saying, "Oh, you just use tell them prompts." But I hesitate on that because what
Hmm.
prompt might work for me may not work for somebody else.
That's right.
And I deliberately used Shane Humis's prompt last night because I wanted to test it, because he's a YouTube educator. He's also the ultimate salesperson.
Hmm.
um,
Hmm.
so sort of thing. But putting that aside, he does have some different group content, at different times. And sometimes he comes up with different prompts to put into Claude. And I thought, well, I know I your suggestion of, I'd like to see how you chat to Claude and interact
Yeah.
with Claude. And I thought, well, maybe that's how I could do it, because I was trying to think, okay,
Yeah.
how do I do this? But it was interesting doing that prompt when he's saying, "Oh, just tell them how to use prompts," and I'm thinking that's
Yeah.
that doesn't
Yeah.
resonate with me, if you know what I mean, because
Yeah.
like I said, and I'm very conscious of your time.
That's
Um,
okay. I get my texts on my watch. I'm like, what? They gave me an hour and then that's it now. Mom, you're mom now. You're my wife again. Turn back into Cinderella.
and yeah, it's like I said, what might work for one person may not work for another
Yeah.
in the same space. But also,
Yeah.
I think the best advice, one of the best pieces of advice of using AI, whether it's Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini, is just don't accept willy nilly what they say.
Yeah.
You know.
And that's actually something which I got a love hate with AI, obviously. I think in this day and age, to not use it, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage because you're using a lot of time that you could be using for better things to do if you can use AI. But AI is not always the truth. and that can put people in very dangerous situations. And coming from a healthcare background, it's one of the reasons, it's one of the topics I'll be leaning heavily on when I'm doing my new channel, because I know a lot of people put their symptoms in there and then their lab results and get a diagnosis and go from there, and it's actually quite disturbing that people do that without a medical background to kind of fact check what you're getting. It's actually quite dangerous.
You are so
Not
right.
to mention the fact people are putting their own personal information, they're scanning in their information into AI. Your information is going onto a massive network. I mean, I don't believe there's anything such as privacy now anyway, with the way society is and the way our information is stored. I don't think we have much privacy, but I don't think we should be going ahead and sharing additional information.
But AI can also be a wonderful tool if it's like anything.
Yes.
If you use it properly, it can be a tool.
Yes.
But as you say, I had a GP who used to say he had people who would and he had a sign, "Don't tell me about Dr. Google."
Yes, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, for sure.
But it's a tool. But you're right about the health information. You have to be so careful there. But your doctor is also probably should be the first port of call, not the last port of call.
Yeah. And a big thing for me is it's our responsibility, as if we want to use the healthcare system, it's our responsibility to at least inform your medical provider that you're having these symptoms and signs. Whether you're going to do anything with it or not, you don't have to follow their advice, but it's a responsibility. If we expect healthcare, it's our responsibility to share information with your providers.
Yes,
and I could go on forever about that.
Absolutely. And I know we've gone a little bit off track but it's still important for people to know about too. So whether it's AI, whether it's the same with YouTube, because
it is.
You have to find the good medical educators, not just people who are going to put out stuff for the sake of getting, or clickbait, so to speak.
Yeah.
Would that be a fair call?
Absolutely. And there really is no way of knowing that either. I follow a lot of different healthcare providers, different facets of healthcare, like pharmacists, hospice people, physiotherapists, psychotherapists, chiropractors, and I've built myself a quite substantial like database of creators and kind of fact checking what they're speaking to so I can provide that information to other people, like, hey, this channel is fairly reliable, maybe you could watch it, but absolutely you have to work with the system that we have. Unfortunately, there's no alternative to the system we have, and we're going to use it. We need it, so we have to kind of work with what we've got.
And on that note, anything else you want to say, or shall we wrap up, because I know your time is valuable and your family is waiting and saying, hopefully asking you how you went, to be quite honest.
Well, I hope so. They're pretty good.
That's good.
And also this speaks to also the point you were bringing up about not doing too many live streams, not making too many videos, because we do want others to watch these things. And when we have our live streams 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, it's almost holding people hostage. People who are loyal to you and loyal to your content, it's using their time, and their time is just as important as our time, and we should be respectful of that. So if you can cover something in a certain period of time, cover it as quickly as you can. Respect the time of your audience.
Absolutely. And you're right. If I see a stream that's 2 hours, I won't even watch it.
That's absolutely.
It's just too much time. Sometimes even an hour, and I know we've gone for nearly an hour, sometimes even an hour is too much for me.
It's a long time, and and people can consume it differently. For me, live streams, I typically would If they're not somebody I'm really connected to, I'll watch them later and I'll speed it up. I'll watch it 2 times, and I'll already have a task in mind. So for the next whatever, I'm going to be folding laundry, and this is a perfect time to have a live stream on.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's good. Thank you. Jenny, I want to say thank you very much for your time and for your honesty. You've been very, very honest and down to earth, which is very nice. And you've made me feel comfortable, to be quite honest. Does that make
Good.
sense?
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
doing this and doing the first interview. Thank you to people who hopefully will be watching this live stream, maybe at a later date. And also pop along to Jenny's channel, which is Lives with Jenx Values.
Yes.
And
Right off the top of your head.
Yeah, right. Let's try again.
No editing. No editing.
No editing. Okay, I want to thank you very much for your time, and to everybody in YouTube land, have a great day, be kind to one another, and I'll chat to you in the next video. Thank you, Jenny.